and welcome to Stash Chats. I believe we're up to episode 25 now. So thank you to everyone who has watched any of the previous chats. And if you need to catch up, they're all on YouTube. So yeah, today I'm completing the trifecta of the Northern Sewl Sisters. So I've already spoken to the amazing Rachel and Ruan, and today I'm being joined by Tamlyn. So as always, do pop your questions and comments in the chat. And yeah, we're just going to have a lovely evening chatting to Tamlyn about her sewing and her stash. So hello, Tamlyn. Welcome to Stash Chats.
Hello. Hi.
How are you doing, Tamlyn?
Yeah, I'm good. The evenings are always a little bit hectic, just with the gym and then Taylor's bedtime and having dinner. So I just had something to eat very quickly after I put Taylor to bed. But yeah, he's gone down beautifully. So it's all good.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Hello, Tiffany. Thanks for joining us. So do you want to kick us off, Tamlyn, with just a little bit about your sewing journey and how you got into sewing?
Yeah, so I always have to try and remind myself of the story and where it happened, and I had to scroll back through Instagram to see when I actually started sewing. So recently I started sewing pretty much exactly 6 years ago. So I looked back on Instagram, and my very first Instagram post was the 28th of February 2018, so it was like exactly 6 years ago today. So that's when I started garment sewing. So previously, for a couple of years before that, I'd been dabbling in like makeup bags, cushions, bunting, that sort of thing. There was an amazing cafe near Newcastle in Whitley Bay, and it did like workshops and also did amazing cake, but mainly the workshops I was there for. And I went and learned lots of different things. My mum came with me to some of the workshops, but it was all like household items. And then I watched the sewing bee, which so many of us do, and decided that I really wanted to sew and like to sew clothes. So I started with the Cleo Pinafore by Tilly and the Buttons, and it all went from there, really.
Excellent. That sounds quite similar to Ruan's story, where she got into watching the sewing bee and then started going to some classes.
Yeah.
So now you're mostly in the garment sewing, and do you mostly sew for yourself?
Mainly, yeah, but I also sew quite a lot for Taylor. I really love sewing things for him. Although now, since September, he's been in school, at a school nursery, so he wears school uniform every day. So I don't feel like he needs as many clothes. I do make his trousers that he wears. We did try and buy him some, but he wanted to wear the ones that I'd made him. They were more comfortable. They're like leggings, the Lightning leggings by Waves and Wild, and he just loves them. So I'm happy if he wants to continue wearing those. But yeah, he doesn't need as many clothes now because he's in school uniform 5 days a week. But he definitely, yeah, I love making things for him, mainly jersey things, like just sweatshirts and leggings and jogging bottoms. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty much exclusively for me.
Does he sort of understand that you're making things yet, or is he still a bit too?
Yeah, I think he does. He has sort of, my sewing room is like right on the top floor of the house, so I tend to come up and sew once he's in bed. But now and again, I have tried to do a little bit during the day when he's around, and he loves the overlocker. He always calls it the noisy one. Mummy, do the noisy one. So yeah, so he's watched me now and again, and he's getting to the point now where he sort of tells me what he wants. So the other day he told me he wanted me to make him some trousers, and I said, what color trousers? And he said all of the colors. So he wants like rainbow trousers. So I can do that.
Excellent. That's so cute.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Ruan's joined. Hello, Ruan, and hello, Grace, as well. Mel said that she started by making the Cleos as well.
Yeah.
Tilly the Buttons is definitely a good starting point for beginners.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they kind of enable you to get into it without having to attend a class, because they're so, yeah, beginner friendly and really take you through it step by step. So yeah, definitely a good starting point.
Yeah. What are your favorite pattern companies now that you're more advanced?
Advanced. I think my number one has to be Friday Pattern Company. I just love everything that Chelsea does. I feel like everything she releases, even if like it doesn't immediately grab me, as soon as I start to see versions popping up, I just absolutely love them. So I love everything she does. And yeah, I think Friday Pattern Company, my number one. Who else? Closet Core, I think, are great. True Bias. Yeah, I think if I had to choose one, it would be Friday Pattern Company.
I think Friday Pattern Company are very good at like doing samples in like really different fabrics to show like all the different, like completely different ways that you could make the same pattern.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So shall we start talking about your stash?
Ooh.
How would you describe your stash?
A lot smaller than it used to be is how I would describe it. So I've been sewing for 6 years now, and I used to have a lot more disposable income than I have now, now that I've got a child and I've changed career and that sort of thing. So I did go through sort of 3 or so years of buying a lot of fabric, being, you know, tempted by all of the gorgeous fabric that you can buy online mainly. And I built up a very large stash. And my sewing room actually used to be on the floor below here, and it is what is now Taylor's bedroom. So people that used to watch me on YouTube prior to me having Taylor will remember that room. So I had a big Kallax unit full of fabric, and when moved up here, I had to get rid of a lot of my stash because there just wasn't the space up here. The Kallax unit stayed in Taylor's room, and that's now become his storage, so I can't keep all of my fabric there. There are a few of the boxes that have still got fabric in, but only fabric that is for him, like nice jerseys and things. So I had to sort of downsize my stash quite a lot, and people that follow my D-Stash account on Instagram will know that over time I have downsized my stash a lot. So it's a lot smaller than it used to be. Now I've got, you won't be able to see it, but underneath, you're on a desk, and underneath that desk is like a metal, I think it's supposed to be like a shoe cupboard or something. Our friends just gave it to us, and it's quite small, and that is pretty much my stash. I do have, we've got a little bathroom up here, an ensuite, and I've got like a towel storage thing, which is now fabric. And then I've got some boxes of Taylor's jerseys and things, but other than that, it's quite contained now. And my opinions and thoughts on fabric have just changed over time. And I think working in a fabric shop probably has a lot to do with that. And just seeing that there is always nice fabric coming along. It, you know, you don't have to be precious over fabric unless it has real sentimental value. I no longer think I really have to hold on to a certain piece of fabric, because new fabric always comes along, and there's always going to be new fabric. So yeah, I'm trying to really be more thoughtful about what I buy, and that sort of financial restrictions, as well as just not needing new fabric all the time. Right? We don't need it. I can't sew at a very fast rate because I only have a short amount of time to sew in the week. And yeah, so I'm buying a lot less now, being a bit more thoughtful about what I'm buying, but being surrounded by fabric every day at work is very tough. Wonderful, but very tough.
So how did that feel like when you first had to relocate your stash and like de-stash a lot of it? Was that quite a difficult process, or were you like, no, this needs to happen, let's just do it?
It was difficult in that I just felt it was a mountain at first, because I moved everything up here, but it was just literally, so there's a big corner sofa just to my left here, and that's like a sofa bed for when people come and stay. But that was literally covered with piles and piles and piles of fabric just everywhere. And gradually over time, I just sort of went through it. So yeah, it did feel like a big task initially, but as the piles started to go down and I could be a bit more sort of considered about what I was keeping and organized, it did really help. And I just gradually felt this sort of weight lift, because it is really overwhelming when you have so much. You just can't like see the wood for the trees because there's just so much there. But having a smaller stash is definitely more manageable, more inspiring. I've got most of my stash on Stash Hub. Not all of Taylor's stuff, but all of my stuff is on Stash Hub. So yeah, I definitely feel a lot better about my stash now that it's smaller. The only thing that I find a little bit difficult is that I can't see it, because it's in this cupboard underneath and it's got doors on. I can't see my stash all the time, but I guess that's where Stash Hub comes into its own, because I can just look on there. If I'm thinking of making something, I can see it on there rather than it being out on display.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you find that you are more of a visual person? Like you would prefer in an ideal world to be able to see it all? Or
Yeah, definitely. I much preferred having that Kallax unit where I could see it. And when I watch other people's like YouTube videos and things, and I see all of their fabric nicely displayed on their Kallax units, I love the look of that. But it's just that unit won't fit up here on this floor, and yeah, it wouldn't work for the space that we've got up here now. And I have to accept that that's just a change that's had to happen. But yeah, I would prefer to see it.
yeah, I mean, I think it's good to be like aware of your preferences, even if you can't, like they're not practical right now, but it's like if you, I don't know, moved or ended
Yeah,
up in a different situation at some point, you can be like, well, this is what I'd like to aim for, like to be able
yeah,
to see. And I think it is good that you feel like in a really good place with your stash as it is now, because I feel like with, you know, with the change of like having to move rooms and, you know, feeling like you have to do the de-stash, it
yeah,
can feel really like, I don't know, you can feel like a resistance to that. Like I don't,
yeah,
you know, this is my fabric and I want to keep it all.
yeah.
But I think it's really good that you're able to like accept that like there's more fabric. I don't
Yeah,
need to keep it
definitely.
all. So
I
we
think
had a
the longer, oh, sorry.
oh, you go on, go.
I was just going to say, like, the longer fabric kind of hangs around in my stash, the less I want to sew it. And we were kind of talking about that in my social a little bit today. And your tastes just change over time. What you really wanted to sew with that fabric 4 years ago just might not be what you want to sew now. And so when I was having a little look at, you know, trying to find the oldest fabric in my stash today, it was quite difficult because I think I've destashed quite a lot of my really, you know, my oldest pieces. I've only been sewing 6 years, so it's not like I've got really, really old fabric, but it was, yeah, it was trickier to try and find my oldest fabric because I have either sewn up or I've destashed the things that have been hanging around a long time because my tastes have changed and my needs have changed and things like that.
So Mel's saying, which shop do you work at? So should we chat a little bit about First for Fabrics?
Yeah. So I work at First for Fabrics, which is in, well, just outside Newcastle upon Tyne, and we are online as well as in store. So yeah, I've worked there for 2 years. Yeah, 2.5 years now, or maybe a year and a half. I can't remember. 2.5 years. Yeah.
So we had some questions from Vintage Design Modern in the chat box who was asking about First for Fabrics, and they said like, how much of your stash do you think is from there?
Oh, not loads and loads, because I think the things that I get from there, I tend to sew up pretty quickly, because when I buy something from work, I kind of want to then promote the fabric to try and help to, you know, share it with people and for people to buy it. So I tend to try and sew up things quite quickly if I get them from work, so they don't hang around in my stash for a very long time.
I guess as well, if you know like that there's loads in stock or that it's
Yeah,
likely to be reordered, you could
yeah,
be like, well, I'll just buy this when I actually need it, and you don't have
exactly.
it, you know, at
Yeah,
home, taking up your space at home.
yes, absolutely.
So Vintage Design Modern also asked, do you feel obligated to buy from the store where you work, or do you just buy the things that you like?
No, definitely not. Yeah, it's very much a case of I just buy the things that I like, but being surrounded by it every day, obviously, I'm probably tempted more than I would be elsewhere. Because when I'm working, I'm just constantly seeing things and thinking about what that could be. And it's really hard not to take things home every day. But then I have to think, hold on, I've come into work and worked all of these hours and not actually earned anything because I've just spent it on fabric. So over time, I've definitely slowed down my purchasing and just been a little bit more thoughtful about it. And just, you know, we had a huge delivery on Monday, lots of gorgeous fabrics. They're not up on the website yet, but they're coming soon. And I spent all of Monday and all of Tuesday at work thinking about what I was going to take home. But then I thought, I haven't got any time to sew at the minute. I just don't. And I've got other things that I need to do. So don't take it home just yet. If it gets to the point where a fabric that I've really got my eye on looks like it's going to sell out, then at that point I'm going to take it home. But, you know, I don't need to take it home, like you're saying, just have it taking up space here when I know that I can just get it when I want it. I was going to
Yeah.
say when I need it. I never need it, but when I really want it and when I've got time to actually sew with that fabric, then that's when I'll get it.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Mel says, have you got any insider info on the new bag kits?
Well, yes, because I'm sort of the person that's putting them together. So yes, I do. I think we were hoping that they would be releasing sort of the end of this week, but I'm suspecting it might bump into next week. We've been waiting for a delivery of some more fabrics that are part of those kits that we think are going to be part of those kits. So yeah, I think it's going to be next week, but there are going to be 4 different patterns, each with 2 different kits, I think. So there's going to be about 8 of each, and we are going to release them as more of a pre-order this time. So they'll be open for about 3 or 4 days, and you can buy within that time. So it won't be a mad rush like it has been the previous times. It's been amazing that they've been so popular, but every time we've crashed the website and it's been really frustrating and people have missed out. But this time we hope that we're going to have a system where everyone will get what they want.
Exciting.
Yeah.
That's quite fun that it's like your thing that you're working on as well, and now it's really popular.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Like, I'm not going to lie, sometimes it has been a little bit not stressful, but it's been all I can think about. And like, whether I'm at work or outside of work, it's been a big thing. But it's also something I'm really proud of, because it's something that sort of I've had a huge hand in, and it's been really popular. And then seeing people actually make them up and share them, and they look incredible, and we've had lots of really lovely emails and messages about them, and yeah, it does really make me happy.
Yeah. I think with bag making as well, like getting all the notions and all the little bits and the right type of fabric and the right interfacing and stuff, if you've not done that before, it's like quite difficult to figure out all the stuff you need. So I think it's a thing to have a kit for.
Yeah, definitely. Or, people who are local have been coming into the shop and they've been saying, oh, I really fancy making the bag pattern. Can you help me pick out everything that I need? So we can do that as well in store. But yeah, I definitely think just having everything there for you, and just the amounts that you need as well, rather than having to order a meter of interfacing if you only need however much. Yeah, I think they're great.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Oh, Ruan says she's a fan of hers.
Yes, and I've seen Ruan's bag in the flesh and it is gorgeous. So yeah, she's done an amazing job.
Nice. Do you want to chat a little bit about like getting involved in the sewing community and how you met Ruan and Rachel?
Yeah, so I've sort of been involved in the sewing community, I guess, right from the start of my sewing journey. I started watching YouTube videos before I actually started sewing. So I used to watch some of the real like OG YouTubers, I kind of like to call them, like Gabardashery, Rosa from Sewn, Alex, who was so happy, like lots of the sort of more original YouTubers. And that's how I got into it. And then I set up my YouTube channel, obviously, and then started being involved in the community that way. I ran a sewing challenge and things like that, and just got more and more involved. And then I watched Rachel for a long time. So she started vlogging before I did. So I was a big fan of Rachel's for a long time. And then also Ruan. So I started watching Ruan as soon as she started her channel. And yeah, we just over time got chatting, and I think the way it happened was, Ruan might correct me here, I originally was going to meet up with Ruan at the Harrogate Knitting and Stitching show, I think, but then at the last minute I couldn't go. And we decided that we still really wanted to meet up. So we thought we would just arrange our own little meetup. And we wanted to get Rachel involved too, because we wanted her to be our friend. So we all decided we were going to meet up, and we arranged this day in Leeds where we went. I mean, we'd done Zoom chats and things, but we'd never actually met in person. And then we went to Leeds for the day and just had the best time, like the most wonderful time, and just instantly just knew that we'd found our people, and it's gone from there really. We try now and see each other every month in person. and we chat on WhatsApp every day. If it gets, we've got a little WhatsApp group, but if it gets to sort of 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon and we haven't spoken to each other, it feels really odd. So like one of us will message and say, we haven't spoken today, what's going on? But we generally, as soon as we wake up on a morning, we tend to text each other, and it goes from there. And yeah, we just have a really lovely friendship, and I really appreciate both of them. Yeah, we try not to make everything about Northern Sewl Sisters, or about, because that kind of feels like work a little bit. So it got to the point last year where whenever we met up, we were trying to film as much as we could and, put content out and things like that. And we actually had a conversation with each other and just said, it's starting to feel a little bit like work rather than just enjoying each other's company. So now what we try and do is almost alternate it. So last week we met up, we went to York for the day, and we didn't do anything like work related. When we sat and had our evening meal, we had a little conversation about what we want to do content wise, maybe over the next couple of months. But other than that, we just enjoyed being together and spending time with each other. So yes, they're wonderful ladies, and I appreciate them a lot.
That's really amazing how just like a shared hobby has really like brought you together, and you'd never have met otherwise. Yeah. Ruan claims the story is, I basically made her be my friend.
Yeah, but I didn't really fight against it, so I was very open to that.
You weren't dragged kicking and screaming into this relationship.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
That's funny. So how do you like to shop for fabric? Do you prefer an online, or are you liking in person, or a bit of mixture?
I am very happy online shopping, to be honest. I feel like I know enough now to be pretty confident in being able to choose fabric online. So I do, have my preferred shops that I tend to shop from on a more regular basis, and I tend to be tempted on Instagram and then go from there. So Sew Me Sunshine, for example, Hey Sew Sister, Fabric Godmother, they're sort of the ones that I mainly order from. Yeah, it's amazing to be able to see the fabric in person, but those shops in particular are just a bit too far away. So yeah, I'm very happy online shopping.
Yeah. So much fabric out there, so much temptation.
Yeah.
Do you want to show us a little bit of fabric now?
Yeah, so I had a little, when you sent over some like possible questions that you might ask, I sort of grabbed out some pieces earlier. So most recent fabric purchase, I guess, is this.
Oh, gorgeous.
So this is viscose jersey. It's a viscose jersey which I instantly fell in love with when Hey Sew Sister shared it maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I think it sold out pretty much instantly. I think Ruan actually got the last of it, and then they got more of it in. I'm not sure if they still have it in stock, but insider knowledge, this has just come into First for Fabrics as well. I didn't know it was going to be coming in because I could have waited and got it from work. But yes, so I got 2.5 meters of this, and I think I'm just going to make a kilo wrap dress because that's my go-to for viscose jersey, and I think it'll be incredible in that. So yes, that is my most recent fabric purchase.
Yeah, it's going to be gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that one. What else do you want to see? I've got what I think is possibly my oldest piece of fabric in my stash, and I actually need help with this one because I think the reason it's the oldest piece of fabric in my stash is that I don't know what to do with it. I'm really, unsure. I think I've got 4 meters of it. It's from Rainbow Fabrics, and it's this one. I don't know where I'm supposed to be showing this. There we go. So it's got like all of these incredible animals and jungle scenes on, and it's a viscose, but I just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, that's really
suggestions would be amazing. It's a beautiful fabric, and it's not that I'm scared to cut into it or anything. It's just that I don't know what to make with it.
Need inspiration. Yeah, I feel like you don't want to break up the print too much, do you? Because it's like quite a scale. So maybe like a, don't know, Sicily slip or something like that, just to show off the print.
I think because I don't know if it's because I've got 4 meters of it. I feel like I need to do something a bit more
That uses up more fabric.
use up more of the fabric. So I don't know, but potentially it could be my So Yellow for Endo make as well,
Yeah.
because it's definitely got quite a bit of yellow in it. So yeah, I mean, any ideas would be greatly appreciated, but I love that. I really love it.
Yeah, let us know your suggestions for viscose patterns in the chat.
Yes, please do. I feel like I always like go back to my like tried and tested. So Saltwater Slip by Friday Pattern Company is like one of my all-time favorites for viscose, and also the Calvin wrap dress by True Bias, but I don't feel like that is right for this. It would make a beautiful saltwater, but again, I would have like 2.5 meters left after that. And I know I could make 2 things, but I don't tend to do that. I don't tend to have 2 of the same fabric in my wardrobe. So yeah,
Do something with sleeves, like a, I don't know, closet core Pauline dress or something like that.
That's not one that I've ever fancied, but I definitely would have a look at it. Yeah, it needs to be made into something soon because I feel like it's been wasted. Another one that I really don't know what to do with, but I love is this. You'll probably recognize this one.
Yeah, before we start talking about this one, Mel says maybe like something with a maxi length swishy skirt. If you had left, you could always sell that.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Yeah, I definitely feel like it has to be something long and flowy to really show it off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tamlyn, Ruan says the shade dress would be good.
Yeah. So I've got the shade dress cut out in a fabric I got from Sew Hayley Jane last year, and I just need to get the time to sew it up really. So if that goes well, then potentially it could become that. Yes, right. Should we move on to this one?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the Rainbow Seersucker that, was it last year or the year before it was around? I can't remember. I missed out on it from wherever was selling it. And then I think I'd put something in my stories, or I'd replied to Pigeon Wishes on my stories, and Megan offered to send me some. So she said she had some left and she would send it to me. So I think she sent me 3 meters, but I love it so much, but I just have no clue what to do with it. I've seen it made into is it the Cassie dress by Sew Over It that's got the shirred bodice? They use this as one of their samples, and that looks beautiful, but I don't feel like I want to just copy that directly. So yeah, I love it. And again, it could be So Yellow for Endo because it does have the yellow in it.
Yeah, I really like that fabric as well. I remember that being everywhere.
Yeah, it was. But then I don't remember really seeing people making it into things. I think a lot of people bought it, and probably a lot of people are in the same position as me and just don't know what to make with it. So yeah, any suggestions for that would be amazing.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Like the seersucker's got quite a lot of structure, isn't it? So it's not really like floaty. Oh, Mel says drape it over yourself so we can see it better.
Oh,
I'll put you on full screen as well. There we go.
So I don't know if it really suits me on the top half or if it needs to be a bottom half thing.
That would be really fun for some like big trousers, I feel like.
Yeah. Then is it like too sheer for trousers? I don't know. Maybe not. Probably would work.
I can't see through it on the video.
No.
Or even if you like quilted it and made like a quilted jacket, I feel would be epic.
Oh, I'm liking the sound of that. Yeah, that does sound fun. Or I just thought, do you know the swim style patterns? Is it the Tamarama set? It's like a little shirt and shorts, or you can make it as a shirt and trousers, like a cord set basically. Would be quite cute in the summer.
Yeah, that would be really cute.
Yeah, like a little short sleeve shirt and
funny vibes.
Shorts. Yeah.
That would be really good to wear for like festivals as well.
Yes. Yeah, and we do go to a festival in the summer, so yes, that could be that one. I mean, I mainly just picked out a fabric that I wanted help deciding what
That's
to do
fair.
with. So yeah. I mean, I've got a couple more pieces, or we can move on. It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see more fabrics. I feel like this is vibe.
So one that I think you asked, maybe one that I would consider destashing, but I'm hesitating over. So this is actually one that I picked up in, not a destash, but at my sewing socials, we have a charity table, and we raise money for charity. And somebody donated this fabric, and I put the charity donation in because I loved it and instantly recognized it as a Fabric Godmother fabric. I think it's a linen cotton blend. So yeah, you might recognize it. So I've got 2 meters, I think, but then I keep thinking, is it my style or not? I don't know. And again, what would I make with it? I think it would have to be either trousers or something for the bottom half, I think, because I don't entirely know if it really suits me, like color wise.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's
more like blues and teals and purples are kind of more my thing rather than greens, I guess. But I just love this fabric so much that I had
so
to stop
unusual, isn't it, with the floral and the gingham.
Yeah. So I don't know whether like a little, I don't know, like a dungaree set or some trousers. I'm not sure.
Has it got is it fairly drapey? Because there's those dungarees from By Hand London, the Leo dungarees.
Yeah, I love that pattern, but there's not enough fabric here because I think I've only got 2 meters. It definitely does have drape. Yeah, it definitely would work for something like that. But yeah, I've only got 2 meters. I think I've only got 2 meters, and I think I need at least 2.5 to 3 for the Leos. Yeah, it would work for that actually. Yeah, you got me thinking now. So yes, yeah, I've got a couple more pieces, but we'll leave it there.
We can always show them like later on as well if people get curious. If we need to see some more fabric, get more fabric fit.
Absolutely.
So, would you say that you're more into like prints than solids?
I think so. And interestingly, I was listening to Mari on the So Disorganized podcast that she did last week, where she shared like her sewing favorites, and she talked about me, which was really lovely. And she said that I make a lot of floral things, and when I first heard that, I thought, I don't. And then I looked through my Instagram feed and I was like, yeah, I do. So I don't kind of see myself as, like, you are a very floral person. I don't see myself as being a floral wearer, but actually looking at my choices and my Instagram feed and my most recent fabric purchase, which was that viscose jersey, I think I am. So yeah, I do love a print. I love anything like space celestial, like that grabs me instantly. I think I do like a floral, but it has to be the right kind of floral. I quite like a dark background with a bold, like brightly colored floral.
I was going to say that's what I think of you when I think of like what's Tamlyn's florals. I feel like it's the dark background and the big contrast.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sort of makes them feel a bit less like feminine, and they're not like girly florals that have got the bold dark background.
Yeah, they can definitely be like a little bit more edgy, which I think often people do say that about my style. Sometimes it's a little bit more kind of rock, like has a bit of an edge to it. So yeah, like definitely a black background or a dark background with a nice pop of bold colors is what I like.
I think it's quite interesting to hear like other people describe your style, especially if that's like not what you were expecting, and then you're like,
it's sort of immediately I was like, no, I don't wear florals, and then I was like, oh yeah, I definitely do.
So do you have any solids like in your stash, or do you tend to just get them as and when?
There definitely are some, but they tend to be like denims. I've got quite a few denims that I've picked up and then not used yet. I don't tend to get like viscose and that type of fabric as a plain, as a solid. I tend to get my solids as more, like bottom weights, I guess, or sweatshirting. I quite like a plain sweatshirting, but Yeah, although like one of my most worn me mades in my wardrobe is a plain black Elysian bodysuit by Friday Pattern Company. It's just plain black, but it goes with so many things. I can just wear it with anything. So I think that is my most worn thing. And it really makes me think that I should make more solids, but I'm never drawn to them.
Yeah, I feel like that's solids is like when you need to go to the fabric shop and then you can like see how soft they are and stuff and be
Yeah.
like, this is it. And
Yeah, I
also
think you were talking about that in your YouTube video, weren't you, about the Dawson top, which I love that video, by the way. And yeah, you were talking about that, but sort of being able to feel them and really sort of appreciate the softness or the actual color, because getting the true color in photographing fabrics is really, really hard. So yeah, so working in a fabric shop helps in that sense. So I do tend to buy my solids from work.
Yeah, I don't know why, but the stakes feel higher on the like color correctness of a solid.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So what is your favorite type of fabric to sew with?
Oh, probably a cotton jersey, like a cotton lycra jersey. I love how quickly a garment can come together. I love how it's quite forgiving and you don't really need to concentrate that hard. So you can get something really wearable really quickly. I do love sewing with viscose as well. But it can be quite tricky, and not all viscoses are equal, and some can be quite shifty and quite tricky to manipulate and tricky to manage. And I hate hemming, so when it comes to hemming viscose, I always struggle a little bit. But yeah, in terms of like what I enjoy, like the process of sewing, I think definitely a cotton jersey, I would say.
Nice. Mel says, what's next on your list to sew for yourself?
So I have a cutout project next to me, which was supposed to be finished and made and revealed tomorrow. So for anyone that's following along with the Pogo Nip party on Instagram and YouTube, this is my Pogo Nip. It hasn't happened, basically. I've cut it out and life has just happened. So that, I guess, will be my next project, because the fabric is incredible.
It has got yellow in it, so that's always so yellow for endo.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You've just nailed it there. So that is my motivation to get that done in the month of March. So yeah, that is my Pogo Nip, and it's all cut out. So really, that's what I should do next and not get distracted. I have a real thing of cutting out lots of projects, so I'm trying really hard not to cut too many things out. I was at my social today and I was messaging the girls, Ruan and Rachel, when I say the girls, and I said, oh, I haven't even brought my sewing machine, and Ruan said, please tell me you are not cutting out any more projects. And I was like, no, actually I wasn't. I was just catching up on a bit of life admin on my laptop. But yeah, I tend to cut out quite a lot, or I have done in the past, and I've ended up with stacks and stacks of just cut out projects that are ready to sew, and that then becomes overwhelming as well, and then I fall out of love with the project, and then I've just wasted the fabric. So yes, trying to be a little bit more just finish one project and then move on. Although I've got a half finished dress on the mannequin here, so I have actually made the skirt. I just need to attach them together, so that's almost done. It's almost a finished project.
Do you tend to like work on more than one project at once, or you try and just do one at a time?
Yeah, I tend to work on more than one at a time. I tend to sometimes have maybe 3 or 4 on the go, and it's strange because that then creates a lot of stress for me, but I still do it and I can't stop myself. I don't know why.
Do you think it's because you're doing one project and then you get like bored or like stressed out by that project, so you're like, I'll start a new project, like a clean slate that won't be stressful, and then it all piles?
I think so, yeah. I think it's a little bit of that, and then it's kind of committing to doing things as well. So when you are a part of the sewing community and you want to take part in challenges, or you want to promote a fabric from a certain fabric company or whatever, you then have these different pressures that all come in, and you think, right, well, this needs to be done by this date or this. So then things skip the queue, and I stop what I'm doing on one project and start sewing another one to try and like meet a deadline or whatever. So I am trying to be better at it. But yes, I am known for having multiple projects on the go at any one time.
Yeah. Oh, Sam's just finishing her pogo nip, so
Oh, well done.
Frugalissima Sam.
Oh, I was going to say which Sam because I'm thinking Sequin Girly or Frugalissima. Yeah, mine's definitely not going to be finished for tomorrow because I'm at work tomorrow, so I don't have any time to sew. Last night was my dedicated night to sew my pogo nip, and then I realised the Newcastle match was on TV, so that just had to take priority.
You just have to just, put the front bodice just against yourself, like, yes.
Yeah, I'll just pretend.
Oh, Mel says you're too hard on yourself. You're a busy working mum.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do. I was again having this conversation today, and just I'm trying not to be hard on myself and trying not to beat myself up because I haven't done my pogo nip. The world isn't going to stop turning. It's not a disaster. Nobody's going to be angry at me or anything. It's just, yeah, I would have liked to have it done by tomorrow to reveal it and be in with a chance of winning a prize. But things happen, and I think trying to put pressure on ourselves when it's our hobby and it's something we enjoy doing, and that takes the fun away, and it just doesn't. Yeah, so that was definitely one of my goals for this year was, well, A, to not commit to too many things, and also B, not put the pressure on myself and just accept, do what I can do, but what will be will be. Yes, I'm a busy working mum, but there's also other things I enjoy doing. So I enjoy watching football. I enjoy going to the gym. So it's, I can't do endless hours of sewing every night because I've got other things that I also enjoy doing. I enjoy spending time with my husband, and I can't do it all.
Yeah, I think it's good to acknowledge that. And I think it is really easy as well, like in the sewing community, to get really like engaged with it and get really excited. And then especially like if your friends are like hosting challenges or doing vlog tours and stuff, you're like, oh yeah, I really want to support you with this. And then you realize you've got to do a project for all of these things. That all takes time that you don't have. But really it's no one minds about what you sew, like you are sewing for yourself, but it just can feel like you kind of have offered it to the community in a way, and then you feel the pressure of like, don't want to let anyone.
Exactly. I mean, I did a collaboration video with Bex from What Bex Sews. We did the introduction at the start of December. We were supposed to reveal our finished makes at the end of December or partway through December, and we still haven't revealed them because I didn't get mine done for a long time, and then it is actually done now, but now I need to film the vlog and it needs to be edited and it needs to go up. So these things just take time, but it doesn't matter, it'll go up when it goes up. There's no like, again, nothing bad's going to happen if it's not by time
as well. Like nobody else knows that you were planning to do that. Like if you're like, okay, well, if I sew this week, then I can do a vlog about it next week. But then everyone else doesn't know that, so they're not like, oh god, why hasn't Tamlyn done a vlog this week? This is great.
I know.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think you've got a good awareness of like what's going on for you and like how you're gonna manage it as well, because it's not worth stress.
I have like an ideal of what I would like to achieve. At the start of the year I wrote goals down, and one of my goals was to have at least one YouTube video every week, possibly two, but just things happen and it just can't. Just have to accept that I can't dedicate my whole life to sewing. I can't dedicate my whole life to YouTube. So it's trying to just have that attitude about it and not worry, try not to compare and thinking about what other people are doing, just accepting what I can manage within my lifestyle and my means, really.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about having your YouTube channel?
I think the engagement with everyone. So seeing people comment on my videos is amazing. I don't always comment back because, again, it's just a time thing, but I always read everybody's comments and I click the little heart to show that I love what they've said. And it's really lovely to hear people engaging with it, but also people like people will often come into the shop and they'll say, you know, I mean, it's quite strange sometimes because they'll be a little bit starstruck and they'll be sort of, oh my God, I can't believe it's you. I can't believe I'm meeting you, and things like that, which feels really odd. But then getting into conversations with people and they talk about how maybe I've inspired them or I've really helped them through a difficult time, or, you know, things like that. It's, yeah, that sort of side of things is really lovely.
Yeah, because I think like sewing can be a bit of like a lonely hobby as well sometimes, because you're just at
Yeah.
home on your own. So having like vlogs to watch along with and like keep you
Yeah.
company can be really nice. And you
Yeah,
run like
definitely.
in-person socials as well now.
Yeah, so I've been running those. I think I did my first one in 2019. And when I started doing those, they were held at First for Fabrics. And this was actually before I started working there. It was just like a relationship that I had with them. And I ran them in like what is the curtain room where the curtains are made, because the First for Fabrics makes curtains and made to measure curtains. So it's not a huge space. So I could have maybe up to 6 people, but that's where they started. And then obviously pandemic, and I also had a baby. And then once things had kind of settled down and things were opening up again and people were starting to want to do things again, I decided that I wanted to start running them again. And I knew that the space at First for Fabrics wasn't going to work because it just wasn't big enough. Um, I started to look for somewhere that I could run them. And actually, Julie, who is one of the owners of First for Fabrics, recommended a community centre, which is about 5 minutes away from the shop. And I went down and had a look, and it was perfect. It's all on one level. It's got a huge car park, so it's accessible. And it's pretty handy, like location wise, for people coming from sort of the surrounding areas. So I started doing them there, and I think it was February 2021, I think I started doing them there. And it's just like gone way better than I thought it could ever go. So I do once a month on a Sunday. I do once a fortnight on a Wednesday afternoon. I do once a month on a Thursday evening. I've got people traveling from here, there, and everywhere across the country to come. I mean, it's amazing. Emma, so do it. Emma is coming down on Sunday from Scotland. Um, my Sundays are fully booked for the rest of 2024 already. And I've just got the most wonderful community of people that come, and people have made genuine lifelong friendships through the people that they've met at my socials, which is lovely. My Wednesday afternoons, I've got a really consistent group of ladies that comes now, and they come every single fortnight, and the friendships that have built from that and the conversations that take place, and they spend time with each other outside of my socials, and it's just so lovely. And yeah, I absolutely love doing them, and they're just brilliant. And I mean, I started doing them, like I say, a long time ago, but I was inspired by Hannah that runs, I think it's Sew Beds, was kind of one of the original socials that I'd spotted and kind of I took inspiration from. But now there's socials everywhere, which is just incredible. And there's virtual socials, which is such a great idea. And it's just so lovely to see that it's become such a big thing. And the friendships and the relationships that have formed through it is just, yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, that's amazing that you've been able to like build that whole community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what an
it's really successful. And then also obviously like the swap table that I mentioned earlier, the charity table. So we raise lots of money for charities as well. And so yeah, there's just so much good that comes out of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mel and I actually ran a social last weekend, which was our first one. So what do you tend to do at yours? Do you do like raffles and different stuff?
Yeah,
Or just
so
they're sewing?
yeah, so we have a lovely refreshments table which my mum takes care of. So there's like teas and coffees and cakes and things, and sometimes people bake and bring things along for that, which is really nice. We have the swap table with patterns and fabrics and things for people to either swap or make donations to charity. And then everybody's just in, like, we have tables set up in groups, and people either mix themselves up or they tend to maybe sit with the same people if they want to sit with their friend or whoever, and they sit and they sew and chat, but people get up and mingle and wander around, and it's really lovely. We have a raffle which is fabric or haberdashery or something that I've purchased, and then a person is drawn and they win that. Sometimes on the Sunday ones, every like few months, we'll have a little trip up to First for Fabrics. We'll have like an exclusive shopping trip because the shop's not open on a Sunday, but we'll arrange that we can go up and do some shopping. Sometimes if it's like a special occasion, we might have some fairs and some like afternoon tea style cakes and things in the afternoon. So yeah, it's just a little bit different depending on the occasion. The Thursday nights are really lovely. So I've got that the Thursday evenings have like grown and grown. So at a point last year, I was maybe getting 4 or 5 people each time, but now I'm at a point where I'm at around 12 to 14 people each time on a Thursday evening, and it's mostly a different group than comes to the Wednesdays and the Sundays. And it's a really chilled, lovely, calm, just a lovely way to spend your evening after a busy day at work. And everyone always sort of comments on how relaxing it is and how lovely it is to just chill and spend time sort of not worrying about anything else on that evening. The Sundays tend to be quite hustly bustly because they're busy. They're the busiest ones. I have 20 at my Sunday ones. But yeah, just sewing and chatting and inspiring each other and touching each other's projects and fabrics and helping each other and pinning each other into things and helping with fit and all sorts.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's nice to have some people who's like, oh yeah, that bit doesn't line up, just cut that bit off, it'll be fine.
Yeah, just bodge it. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, because you've always got like different people around the room who have different approaches to doing things, and like one person might be very, very particular and they really want everything to line up perfectly, and if it doesn't, they get quite stressed. But then yeah, like you say, you've got other people who are like, oh, that's fine, just just wing it. And we all kind of take a little bit of each other's styles and use them as inspiration in our projects. So
yeah, that's really good. Thready Stitch Sew joined a bit later, so they said, how many fabrics have you got, Tamlyn? Have you got a handle on the rough numbers?
I don't actually have a handle on the numbers because, like I say, like pretty much my fabric stash is in Stash Hub. So if I was to have a little look, it should tell me, shouldn't it?
You're very coordinated in your lilac today, by the way, with your lilac phone and nails and jump.
Yes. Well, this is pale blue. I don't know if it's showing up as purple. So yeah, this is pale blue, just from New Look. That I haven't made this. So yeah, I've got my different shades of purple nails, and then phone case. So right, I mean, you're the expert. Where should it tell me how many I've got?
If you go to menu.
Yeah,
which, like top left, and then all the way down the bottom is stats.
Yeah. See, I need to really explore Stash Hub more and really get the most out of it. I've been loving it on your videos, like your recent YouTube videos, how you just incorporate Stash Hub like all the way through your videos. It's really cool and really inspiring. I've been loving it. Right, so I have apparently 107, but that is just mine. So that's none of my jerseys, which are earmarked for tailor. So like none of my children's kind of fabrics. And I haven't got on there like my ribbing fabrics, like for neckbands and things. I haven't put any of that on there. And I haven't got any of my like activewear or swim lycras on there. They're in a separate box. So there's definitely, I'd probably say there's the same amount again. So I would say I've probably got at least 200.
So you still got quite a healthy stash after your de-stashing then. You didn't have anything.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be quite as high, but it's fine.
This is what everyone says, like, don't worry. I feel like it's not about the numbers though, is it? It's about like what you can make and like how you feel about it. So I think you feel like, my stash is great, it's under control, I know what I've got. That's like what I need to be. Yeah.
And I mean, in terms of my top fabric colours, black is my top. And blue is my like black 27, blue 26. So I'm definitely I like a black base fabric.
I feel like that's not too shocking, and that's quite good, I think, for the stats when you're like, okay, I can see that.
Yeah,
because like mine is like 75% blue, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't list every single color though that's in a fabric. So if it's got like quite a few different colors in, I don't list every single one.
Yeah.
just kind of pick out the main, like maybe the base color or like the main couple of colors. So
I think that's good because that keeps the stats like a bit cleaner as well. Because I think otherwise you can get stuff that's double counted. Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Emma says, "Does Hayley give you a peek at the subscription boxes ahead of them shipping?"
Yes. Yes. So they are, yeah, they're not a surprise to me. Well, the fabrics aren't a surprise. I don't tend to know what the other bits and bobs are going to be in the boxes, but because I write in the magazine, so I write 2 articles in the magazine. I used to write the fat quarter tutorial. So when there were fat quarters as part of the box, I used to write the fat quarter tutorial every month, but now there are no longer fat quarters. So each month there is a supplementary piece of fabric, which is up to 1 meter long. So I write 1 article about that fabric. So I pick out 5 patterns or 5 ideas for what you could do with that fabric. And then I write a second article. So it tends to be inspired by the theme of the box usually. So I kind of need to know what the fabrics are ahead of time so that I can do my writing for the magazine.
Yeah, so because we put the Stash Hub QR codes in the box, I know what the fabrics are, but I don't know what the theme is or like anything else that's happening. So I'm quite interested what the theme is this time.
Yeah, that must be quite fun for you. So you can kind of guess what it's going to be. So yeah, you know what fabrics are coming in March.
It's like vibes.
Yes.
In the next box. So I feel like maybe that's where the theme is with that box. I don't know. But yeah, all be revealed, I guess, in a couple of weeks when everyone gets their boxes.
Yes. Yeah. I'm really excited about these boxes because I love the fabrics that are going into them. So
yeah, really exciting. All right, brilliant. Well, we'll probably start wrapping up here. So if anyone's got a really, really quick question, chuck it in the chat right now. But is there anything that you want to say, Tamlyn? Before we
pressure. Not really. It's been really lovely chatting to you, and obviously, as you know, part of my Northern Sewl Sisters thing, to be the final little part in that trio was really lovely to come on. And thank you to everybody that's joined. Yeah, and I really enjoy the stash chats. There are a few I need to go back and catch up on because I haven't managed to watch all of them. But I think it's just such a great idea. It's such a lovely insight into different people's sort of sewing practices, and yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's really fun actually just to see like the different approaches that everyone else like has, just to show the breadth of stashes and how it's always, you know, just different things inspire different people.
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. Well, thank you everyone for watching live. And if you watched on catch up, you can still pop your comments in the comments box below. But yeah, do give us a follow because I'm going to be talking to loads of exciting people in the future. So next week, I'm going to be talking to Sam from Frugalissima. So we're definitely going to probably be mentioning the Sew Frugal Challenge. So if anyone wants to get a bit more affordability in their sewing game, there's a lot of free patterns out there, so the challenge is going to be really good for discovering that. But yeah, and hearing more about Sam's sewing and her stash as well. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.